Look at us, cozy.
Yeah.
Cozy kittens.
Look at that.
Well, who's that person? Oh, Carol Baskin.
Yeah. Hey, cool cats and kittens. She's the worst, man. She's the spookiest to me on that whole show. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Sam.
Are you ready for today?
I'm ready to rock.
Let's do it then. Well, we feel like we've been doing a lot of heavy topics lately, so we wanted to do a less heavy topic today.
Yeah.
So we are going to do answering the Internet's Burning Questions Part 3.
Yeah. Let's hop onto Reddit.
Yeah. Did we go on to Ask Reddit?
I think we did, yeah.
Okay.
And we also did no stupid questions, I think. Imagine if Reddit was like a proud sponsor of Approachable. How sick would that be?
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice. Question number 1. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm a little tired. It's been a month for sure. I think that, I'm taking this so seriously. I'm like, okay, so, yes.
Let's really dive in.
Yeah, I think I took on a little bit too much for October.
You don't say.
Yeah, which I knew going into it, but I thought like somehow I could pull it off. Mm-hmm. Like I did Sober October on my Instagram, which was like every day a prompt for like either staying sober from whatever or like cutting out something that you wanted to cut out, like candy or
bad vibes.
Yeah, but yeah, good vibes only. Stuff like that. But it was a lot more work than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
And then also my yoga course, and like somehow on the weekends I had so much shit to do.
Yeah.
Like yesterday I helped a friend move for like 12 hours. Like my biceps today are like, Sam and I just went grocery shopping and I literally was trying to lift like my yogurt. Like I had packed all of the yogurt and all of the almond milk in one bag for some reason.
I'm gonna put all the heaviest shit in one singular bag, and then the other bag is like just like Rice Crisps.
Yeah. I lifted it out of the car and like I winced. I was like, ugh. So anyway, I'm tired. And also, I mentioned it once before on the podcast, but I had started taking this nasal spray that's like not really recommended. Not really. Like it says right on the bottle, do not take for more than 3 days in a row because you will get addicted to it physically. So it's been a year. And I like joke about it, but like a lot of people actually like suffer with this pretty like severely.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously not working anymore, and I just have to like re-up with it to like keep my nasal passages even remotely clear. Mm-hmm. And we're at the point where like I have to get off of it, right? Like I just have to go through the withdrawal.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting until my yoga course is over because like I can't even explain to you guys. Like, I am taking this seriously. For anybody in the comments who's like, you need to take this, I am taking it seriously. And I have an appointment with my ear, nose, and throat doctor. But in order to get off of it, you have to go through, like, it can be, like, a week or it can be a month of rebound congestion where you can't, like, depending on how long you've been on the product, you just can't breathe through your nose. So it feels like you have the flu, basically. So anyway, just, like, a whole lot of, like, things going on. But I'm okay. How are you feeling?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not take on too much for October.
Okay.
Purposefully. And I do that every month of the year. I'm feeling fine. I feel like a little bit annoyed. So we're recording this. One could argue last minute probably. But we are recording this November 1st. So last night was Halloween, obviously. And I'm kind of frustrated, like seeing all the videos of people like specifically in Vancouver that like our like downtown like entertainment district was like packed with people. And so it's just like disappointing because it does feel like, okay, so like literally months and months and months of prevention and everyone wearing masks and everyone changing their lifestyle and working from home and kids being home from school and all that kind of stuff. It's like all of that becomes obsolete in one night.
Yeah.
And like that's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling a little annoyed by that right now, but generally speaking, I'm well. Yeah,
I walked by a couple bars last night just because we were moving and my friend was moving into a different, I would argue like a different entertainment district, like that street. And we were just like walking up the street and there were a lot of bars that were like pretty packed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the regulations are, so I'm not going to suggest that they weren't, like that they were over capacity or something like that. And there were like plastic dividers and stuff, but it is hard, right? Like I mean, the pandemic is still very much so ongoing. In Canada, we do like to play the nice neighbor and like, you know, we're doing great. But I mean, you can't, don't compare yourself. You know what I mean? Like, let's just still do better though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the videos that I was seeing last night, nobody was wearing masks or anything like that. Like, everyone's just out doing, like, as if nothing's happening. And it's like, I understand it's one night, but, and it sucks. Like, everyone's obviously been putting their life on hold in a way to some extent. But, I mean, then there's, like, children that weren't able to, like, go trick-or-treating, which is, like, something that, like, when I was a kid, I looked forward to that all year long. So, I don't know. It just is kind of shitty, but.
Yeah, and you were saying I wasn't here because I was, again, helping move, but we got no trick-or-treaters.
None.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was fireworks literally all night long. Arrow was, like, not having a good time.
It was, like, wild. We were moving into the wee hours of the night, I would argue. And where we were, there were people setting off fireworks, like, basically right next to us.
Dude, it's what, I mean, okay, maybe that's a good socially distanced activity. But it was really annoying because, like, I like woke up to pee during the night and it was like 2 and there was still fireworks going off like crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, some would argue like a scaredy pants. So hearing these like weird booms in the middle of the night is not exactly,
it's not comforting,
conducive to my sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, I'm excited that it's November. I love the Christmas season. I really do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm excited to decorate and do all that stuff.
Yeah, we were going to, this is just like us chatting.
I mean, essentially the whole podcast is us just chatting.
Yeah. But this is really like, you're basically just sitting on the couch like bullshitting on a Sunday with us.
We're all friends here.
We were going to put up our trees today, which, I mean, some could argue that's a little soon, but it's not in our household.
No.
Okay, my eyes are watering thinking about it. But I'm like, physically, I just can't think about taking those trees out. And in the summer, when you and Matt were like cleaning out that storage area or whatever, like spring cleaning, I guess it was spring. I was thinking, because my trees were still set up, I had just like not fully set up, but like sort of assembled. Yeah. And I had just like put them in there, and Matt was like, "Can you like put these away?" And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, I know that like when I go to take them back out, I'm gonna be so sad that I can't just like yoink.
Yeah, like pop it in there.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Which, like, fair, you want to have access to your storage area. But for that one specific day when I have to assemble the trees.
It's the day of reckoning.
Yeah.
I knew this shit would come back around.
Yeah. And Matt just helped me like mount a TV for 2.5 hours the other day. So I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who am I to say?
But like when Matt does a task, you do pay for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you pay for it through like listening to his bitter complaints for the next like 3 solid days.
He was like, when he was mounting that thing, I was making lunch and I was on a lecture. Like I was like multitasking or whatever. So I was just like hearing him grumble in the background sort of thing. But then he was like, just buy, next time you buy a TV mount, maybe don't buy the cheapest fucking one. And I was like, I didn't. I was like, that thing was like $150. And he's like, you could have gotten it on Amazon for like $25. And I'm like, what do you want from me?
God. Oh, Matt.
Anyway, I'm never moving out now because as I was saying to Sam earlier in the grocery store, I really feel like that was a moment where it's like, oh, I'm here for good.
Yeah.
You know, like that TV
There's something very final about a mounted TV for sure.
Yeah, it's on the wall. And actually, Jaclyn Hill influenced me. I don't know how she always gets me.
As she does, man.
That woman gets me. She influenced me.
That woman gets me.
The amount of times I've watched her holiday gift guides, I swear. She has like these lights that go around the back of her TV, like strip lights.
Yeah.
And she was posting stories about them, and I'm like, man, those do look pretty freaking dope. So I went online and I bought those lights, and they're coming in on Wednesday. So now I'm going to have like a whole home theater situation.
Home theater.
The home theater. One, Matt too, because we have, I don't know what they're called. Like, not a pocket ceiling, but you know what I mean? Like downstairs, it's like sunken, but upward.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys know what I'm saying. But he was like, you could put them all around the ceiling. So
Matt loves like an RGB moment. Like he loves fucking lighting.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure. Do you have the $500? Because that's a big ceiling, like around a TV.
Yeah,
I could fit that into the budget.
Sure.
The entire ceiling, I'm like, yeah, sure. If you want to do that as my life.
Yeah, no shit. Your like freaking house is a rave down there. Yeah. I was gonna say too about Jaclyn Hill. It's so funny to me when she does her Bed Bath & Beyond candle hauls, because it's just like, you bought every candle.
Yeah.
So like this video like basically had no purpose to it, because you could have just easily been like, I bought them all. So
yeah. She does have a lot of candles.
Dude, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah. I wish that I could burn more candles, but I do find when I'm burning candles, my nose gets more clogged and like it makes me cough.
The Bed Bath & Beyond one specifically tend to give me like a headache.
Yeah.
So that's kind of annoying.
Sad.
Yeah.
I do love them. I like a good smelling house, but
I love a good smelling house too, but diffusers is where it's at for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been messing up some diffusers lately.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, my house just basically smells like burnt chicken all the time when Jeff's here.
Gross. That's my dad cooked chicken wings at my house once, which like I didn't think that would have like much of a smell, but it really does.
Yeah.
It is pungent.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be cooking downstairs and Sam will text me and be like, oh, a blank dish today. Like you can smell it in the whole house.
Yeah.
And Matt actually asked me the other day if I was down there cooking curry.
Oh,
and
really?
I was like, no.
That's our neighbor, man.
Dude, our neighbor,
he cooks that bomb curry, man.
He has, I want to make friends with him so bad because like his dinners, you can smell when he's eating dinner.
Yeah.
It smells so good. And I just want to be like, hey.
I want to become friends with our neighbor because he has these lights in his bathroom that are absolutely horrific to my sensibilities. Like it is, I cannot even, everywhere in his house is like this nice, like warm, gentle lighting. And then his bathroom is like this, like this, like stark, like white medical, like, oh, yes. Fuck. It is absolutely horrifying.
Well, and I don't understand because like, so I can see his bathroom light through my closed blinds in my bedroom.
Right.
It comes through, like not in a way that I'm like annoyed by it, but in a way that I'm like, oh, he's up right now.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how like chemically in your brain you can fall back asleep after turning on that light to use the washroom.
I don't understand how chemically in your brain you're like okay emotionally after that. It's so fucked, man. Like those lights are some fucking, where do you even get those industrial ass like
they're like those emergency lights.
Yeah, man.
You know, like a spotlight.
Fuck that shit.
Actually, I was telling our friend yesterday, because I was having all these like reminiscing thoughts after moving, because I've moved so many times, and this is the longest I've ever stayed in a place. Actually,
same
is here. Well, I mean, you bought a house.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
So you better hope you're fucking settling down.
Yeah, it's picking up, and
especially around these parts.
Yeah. And I was driving by this area where there was, my brain goes too fast. Okay. I was driving by this area that had like a soccer field. And then my thought was interrupted by thinking the night before I drove past that same soccer field and they were playing soccer. And I was like, like I wish that I was like a part of a team sort of thing. Like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be on a team, but I was really bad at team sports. Not because I was a team player. I'm just not good at like soccer, basketball, volleyball, that sort of thing. But anyway.
I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, like I do feel like I wouldn't say I'm like athletic, but like more sports inclined, I would say. And I don't know what it was. I couldn't get the technique and stuff like that. Like I didn't even make the grade 9 volleyball team. I got cut.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
Yeah, and they put an 8th grader on our team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
a real slap in the face.
It was. Yeah.
They had to outsource.
They did, yeah. I mean, she was like wildly better than any of the 9th graders. I think that she was just like really talented, really skilled. But anyway, yeah, an 8th grader. And I was like upset about it. And so I brought it to my teacher. And I was like, well, you brought an 8th grader on. And she was like, even if we didn't, you wouldn't have made the team.
She's like, let's just fucking call a spade, bitch.
Yeah, that was cold. Yeah. That was shady. Anyway, my first thought to that, on like these soccer fields, because they practice at night often, they have like these big like floodlights or whatever they're called.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was remembering my second apartment in Toronto, the first time I lived there, I lived across from this park. I think it was called Moss Park, and it had those lights, but it wasn't a soccer field. And they came on every night when it got dark, directly through my bedroom window.
Fuck that shit, dude.
Directly through. Like it would be like bright in my room.
When I lived downtown, in this one particular apartment, not the one most recently, but the one, I lived in this one apartment in this area called Gastown, and they film really frequently in Gastown. And so when they film at night, they have like gigantic floodlights like that, because sometimes they'll be making it look like a day scene or whatever. And that they would do the same thing. They would like light the whole fucking street up, and it would be all night long, like these fucking crazy ass gigantic lights on, like right into our apartment. It was so brutal.
So frustrating.
Yeah. And they actually recorded they filmed in our apartment a lot too. Not our apartment, but
the
like
building.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wild.
So like the top floor was like a common area where like there was like a gym, and then like a little like seating area with a TV, and then cooking area, and then outside with like a hot tub and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
And they would always like pretend that was like a penthouse suite.
Oh.
But then like all your amenities that you're paying for,
right?
like you can't use.
Yeah. What the F?
Yeah, it was really annoying.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
That reminded me of the first time I lived in Toronto. I had a day off, which was like very hard to come by back then. And I literally didn't leave my apartment. Like I just stayed in bed and I watched like Netflix all day. I think I probably ordered in food or something. But then I had an opening shift the next day, and I walked to work. And I lived just on the outside of like where all the happenings were, but only like a 5-minute walk from like the happenings. And so I was like walking to work, like whatever. It's like 8:30 in the morning. And then I turned the corner into like the business district. Like it was Adelaide Street. And there was like, I can't even describe it. It was like zombie apocalypse sort of situation. Like there was like garbage on the ground, but it wasn't like garbage. It was like gray and like set up. And I didn't realize that was a movie set, but nobody was on the movie set yet. And there were no like trailers or whatever. Like
It's weird that they didn't even have it blocked off.
It was so odd. And like maybe I had just missed some like pylons or something like that. I'm unsure. Maybe I was just like in a daze from my day off and like getting to work.
Yeah.
But I just remember turning the corner, and I'm pretty sure there was like a semi-trailer or something like that turned over as well. And for a moment I was just like,
you're like, what happened yesterday?
I literally like, I was so like out of sorts for a second. And it took me a little bit, but then I was like, oh, they're filming. Okay. Because I was just like, what happened?
Yeah. That's like when you like take a nap like midday kind of thing, and then like wake up and you're like so confused, like it's still daytime, and like yeah. Okay, here's a second question.
Yeah, how long did that take us? It's been 20 minutes.
Perfect. Have you ever bumped into your cat outside of your house in the neighborhood? How was your reaction?
No. I mean, my cat's an indoor cat.
Yeah.
But they used to be outdoor cats. So for those of you who don't know, I used to have 4 cats that I inherited, and they used to be outdoor cats. So when they were babies, we would like run into each other, you know, on the streets.
Fuckers.
And just say a little hello. I don't know. It wasn't like an awkward thing. Like I would just be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing? You just hanging out? Because I lived on a cul-de-sac. And at the end of the cul-de-sac was a horse farm. So there were like horses over there and stuff. So the kitties would just like go up and like say hi to the horses or whatever. But yeah, I like specifically I'm remembering them on this like one like embankment that had like a bunch of like straw type of stuff, and they would just like run through the straw, and I would like be scootering.
Well, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, so it was just like
it's a good, nice interaction.
It was a nice interaction.
Yeah, they're doing their thing, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, exactly.
When I lived with my one boyfriend, he had a cat. And we lived on the 36th floor of this apartment. And so there was like, everyone had like I think you call it like a Juliet balcony.
Yeah.
It's like this tiny ass little fucking, like you can put one singular foot on it.
Yeah.
And then we had this like very, very thin strip that kind of that was just like a steel strip basically that went all the way around the building. And the cat would go out onto the balcony and then go through the railing and onto that strip. So like there's nothing like stopping him from like potentially like falling over the side kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
But he would walk along that and then go into other people's apartments. So we would like sometimes not notice that he had left because he wasn't like a very friendly cat. Like he was kind of like always hiding from us and whatever. And then we would get like a knock on the door and be like, who the fuck is that at like 4 p.m. on a Tuesday? And it would be our neighbors with a cat. And they'd be like, the fucking cat walked into my fucking apartment again. Because like none of us had air conditioning, so we like had to leave like all the windows and shit open. Yeah. Dude, that cat was a freaking maniac.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that cat actually as well. I only met it a couple times, but
he was a piece of work.
I'm a cat lover, okay?
That cat was shitty.
I wasn't a huge fan.
No diss.
Yeah. And he really did track litter everywhere.
It was it was disgusting, dude. It was fucking so we had, again, like this apartment was very tiny, and like also, I mean, I'm sure it's like this in a lot of cities like that are like kind of like more like urban cities, I guess. Mm-hmm. The houses, the apartments in Vancouver are built to be sold, not to be lived in. So it's like there's like no pantry space and like no closets and just like no space whatsoever. So
but like for some reason they have like a dope bathroom.
Yeah. And so but like we didn't really have a lot of space, and so the cat's litter box we like tucked underneath the like vanity in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was so disgusting. That cat would like track litter fucking everywhere. So I also thought that this was just like how cats lived, and when everyone was like, cats are so much cleaner than dogs, I was like, in what fucking world? Because like this, you would step out of the shower onto fucking cat litter. It was so disgusting, and then it would jump up everywhere. Like it would not stay off the counters and stuff, which also pissed me off because you couldn't leave anything out because it would knock it off.
Yeah.
So and then there were like where we would like cook our dinner and stuff like that, it's like you would have to fucking wipe down cat litter every single day. It was disgusting, dude. It was disgusting. Ew. Yeah, that cat was fucking on one.
Yeah, and like when you step on cat litter, it becomes like cement basically. Ugh. Because it's like clay,
dude.
Right?
Ugh.
It's so gross. And I mean, Grunt's looking pretty good right now. I mean, I know he meows like crazy, but he is a very clean boy.
Except for how he eats. Christ.
I cannot keep his food area clean. And when he eats, it's like he's so gently just like
it's the most gentle. Like it's like, how are you even getting any food in there?
Yeah, and then but somehow like he'll get it all over his little like lips, and then he'll just like look up and shake his face like super aggressively, and it flies everywhere.
Oh my god.
Oh, it looks like I never cleaned that spot in my house, but it's just that like after one feeding, it's back.
Yeah, he is a drooly boy.
Oh yeah, he's got some food, but like his litter box situation is good, and he doesn't actually like usually climb where he's not supposed to, except for that one time that he knocked off my pretty thing from anthropology.
Yeah, it's very rude.
On the shelf.
It's rude. If that's the only thing, you know.
Well, yeah, he hasn't like broken anything in a very long time.
Yeah.
Or like I think that's the only thing that he's.
That cat used to break. Basically, like if you put it on the counter, it was getting broken.
That's wild.
It was the worst cat ever.
Grunt's a good boy, and he doesn't claw anything either, other than his like scratchy mat.
That's good.
Yeah, I've never had him like claw a couch.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I still feel like dogs are like fairly easy.
Yeah, I mean like dogs are perfect.
Dogs are perfect.
But I really do. I like my cat, I guess.
But I do like my cat.
My cat, because like, I don't know. I've met some cats that I'm just like not,
See, but that's the thing. It's like, I feel like I can like count on one hand the amount of dogs I've met that I didn't like. The amount of cats I've met that are fucking the worst.
Yeah.
This is going to be controversial.
Yeah.
This is going to be the most controversial episode we've ever recorded. But like, that's the thing with cats that I don't like, is it's so hit and miss.
Yeah.
Like it's really not with dogs, basically, like almost at all, I would argue.
Yeah.
But like with cats, I'm like, I would be so scared to like get a cat in my life. As much as like I look at them, I'm like, it's nice to have a little cat. If they like ignored me, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? First of all, I couldn't take that. And secondly, like if I ended up with a shitty cat, which is like a high probability, I'd be pissed.
I think with dogs versus cats, like the owner has something to do with the attitude of the dog, right? Like,
for sure.
Like it's pretty widely accepted that that's the case. With a cat, yes. Like if you're obviously like not a good person.
Like if you're abusive to it or something,
yeah,
sure.
Then yes. But like it doesn't really affect that much.
Yeah.
Like, you can be so sweet, so loving, so nurturing, and that cat's still going to be a fucking asshole if
like,
it's an asshole.
you.
Yeah. But, I mean, Grunt he's such a sweetie pie. Like, he just loves to snuggle.
He is sweet. I have to say also, Christy has like a million cats, and she has like such a knack for finding nice cats.
Yeah, her cats are so sweet.
And they find her. Like, they come to her home.
They're like, we heard. Yeah. We heard what it's like here.
This is a home for good boys and girls. Yeah.
Aww, I know. They're so sweet.
Okay. What completely legal thing should adults stop doing to children? What? Ooh. Someone said, the top one said use them as leverage against the other parent.
Oh, yeah.
Or saying, why can't you be more like your brother or sister? Using them as therapists. That's the one thing I will say. Like, I feel like my parents, as if like I only have one good thing to say about my parents. My parents were really, really good about not like making their problems our problems.
Yeah.
And like, we didn't know, like, you know, like, do we have money? Do we not have money? Like, it wasn't like something that they always talked to us about kind of thing, which looking back, like, I appreciate a lot because, like, you know, having met like other people and like how their parents talk to them about that stuff, I'm like, this would have been so fucking stressful to me as a kid.
For sure.
Like, just having to deal with these things that like I can't do anything about it as a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
I would like add on to that and say acting like it's a privilege that they let you live in their house.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Because like, you chose this life.
I didn't ask for this.
You chose to have me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand.
Like, my house, my rules.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Because it's like, you know, be respectful to your parents, of course, and be respectful to your kids, vice versa. But the whole like, it's a privilege for you to be here. It's like, well, it's like literally you're legally obligated to give me care. Yeah. Because you chose this, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
What movie genuinely creeped you out?
Lord of the Rings.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Gollum really did a number on me. Okay, so my dad, he was not into like censoring the content that I took in. Okay, so like when I was, and not in like a weird way, but like when I was, I don't know, like very, like quite young, I was watching things like MASH, like the army show, and Who's the Boss, and All in the Family, like all of these like older adult shows.
Yeah.
Like more so geared towards adults. And as well, my brother was 3 years older than me. So like I was probably quite young to be watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye really did a number on me as well. Stephen King's The Cat's Eye.
I haven't watched it.
I watched the part of it that really creeped me out recently, and I was like, it's not.
We watched the Stephen King movie last night, but I'll tell you about it in a second. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Lord of the Rings, we went and saw it in the theater. So Gollum was fucking huge.
Which makes a difference.
Yeah, and I don't actually know when that, I'll have to ask my brother when that year was so that I can tell you how old I was. But I definitely was like too young to be going to this movie. And just his like creepy voice and his creepy body, and then people started calling me Gollum because I had really thin hair.
Oh, that's rude. That's fucking rude.
And so it was like insult to injury. And after that was actually when I started having to like look under my bed for Gollum. And like I would like sit
and
up.
It's never stopped.
Yeah, I would like sit up and like look out my window like this. I had a window behind my bed and be like, is he there? Like so creepy. But yeah, as well, Cat's Eye. So Drew Barrymore was actually in that movie as a kid. So that's how old this movie is. Like she was the child in it. And this little like gremlin guy, goblin guy, somehow stole her breath. So she couldn't breathe. And so she's in bed, like unable to breathe. She can't scream to her parents who are downstairs. And she like comes down the stairs and tries to tell them like, I can't breathe. And I'm pretty sure the cat manages to get this goblin into the fan that's going. And it like chops him up in the fan, and then the breath goes back into her. That one, I mean, arguably, I'm still reeling from the effects of watching that as a young child.
Very scarred.
Yeah. So anyway, there is something to be said about age appropriate.
Yeah.
Shows.
My parents were pretty strict with that kind of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, my parents were pretty strict, like, across the board, to be honest. Like, but yeah, like, we had, like, a bunch of cousins in this, like, small town in Saskatchewan. And so a lot of times in, like, smaller towns, like, they end up drinking younger and stuff, like, not to, like, generalize, but this was just, like, my experience with that. You know, they ended up drinking, like, a lot younger, and they would watch, like, inappropriate movies younger and all that kind of crap because there's nothing to do. And so I remember I was really young, but so were my cousins, and they were going to see American Pie. Oh. And my parents were like, oh, absolutely not. Like, you will not be going to that. So, like, I had to, like, stay home with my, like, 5-year-old cousin. Oh. I was so choked. But, yeah, no, we were not allowed to do that shit.
Yeah, I was basically allowed to watch whatever I wanted.
No.
Definitely, like, movies and TV shows was, like, you do sort of thing.
So we watched this. I'm going to tell you the movie that actually creeped me out the most, which I'm sure you already know which one it is. But oh yeah, we watched this movie last night called Into the Tall Grass. It wasn't a good movie, so I'm going to spoil it. Is that fine by you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't watch it anyways.
I would not watch it.
But to anyone else, it wasn't that good of a movie, so I'm going to spoil it. But, you know, like, skip ahead or whatever. I'm not going to go that into detail probably. It was written by Stephen King, or, like, based off of something by Stephen King. And it's, like, this, like, pregnant woman and her brother that have, like, a kind of weird incestual relationship, just a little bit. Him for her. He's, like, kind of got, like, a little bit of the hots for her.
Okay.
Which they don't ever clarify at any point.
Okay.
But she's, like, pulling over to the side of the road because she needs to, like, throw up because she's pregnant. Oh, okay. And then they hear this kid in this, like, it's like a field with, like, all this, like, tall grass, kind of like a cornfield or something. They hear this kid screaming for help, and she's like, oh, like, it sounds like really serious, like, we should go in there. And then she hears, like, a woman as well, and she's like, oh, I don't know, like, this is weird, whatever. And he was like, well, let's just go in, like, it sounds like he's, like, right fucking there, so, like, it's fine. And then basically this is, like, some crazy, like, magic field where, like, time gets turned around and, like, you can't ever find your way out. And you die, like, over and over and over again.
What?
Dude, it was so fucking bizarre. Anyways, long story short, at one point, she ends up, in one of the scenes where she's dying, she ends up, like, giving birth to her kid 3 months early.
Okay.
It's stillborn. And then she's, like, she's, like, basically dreaming that, like, her brother's feeding her something. And she's like, what are you feeding me? And he's like, it's just grass and seeds and dirt and so on. That's the line. It's grass and dirt and seeds and so on. and then she, like, looks over and it's her baby that he's feeding to her. And then she blinks and she realizes it's, like, this other fucking crazy guy that was, like, lost in the fucking maze. So, like, there's, like, a bunch of people that are, like, doomed and, like, locked in this fucking thing. Dude, it was so bizarre. I cannot even fucking describe to you. It was the most... Oh my God, it was such a weird fucking movie. The whole time me and Matt were like the storyline was compelling. The acting was god awful.
How old is it?
New. It's like it's like a Netflix, like, Netflix did it.
Oh, weird.
It was bad. It was very bad.
A side note, Emily in Paris has some pretty god awful acting.
I have no inclination to watch that.
I enjoyed it. It's weird because, like, I do still enjoy movies with, like, and shows with god awful acting, but, like,
I can't do her.
There was one, I won't say who, but there was one that I just, if you've seen Emily in Paris, you'll know the one. Every time she has a line, I'm just like,
stop. There's some actors though and actresses that, like, do you just say actors, like, as, like, a full on?
Yeah, in the industry I just said actors, but.
Okay, yeah, so there's some, like, actors that, like, it's astounding to me how, like, how popular they are and how, like, they get so much work when it's like, why though?
Yeah.
Shay Mitchell comes to mind.
Oh, oh God, what's her name? Sorry, go on. Okay, yeah.
I just, like, I cannot believe how much shit she gets cast in, and everything I've ever seen her in, I'm like, oh, she's the worst.
Biel. Somebody Biel. Jessica Biel, or maybe?
Jessica Biel? Oh, yeah.
Is that her? Hold on.
Justin Timberlake's wife?
Oh, no, then no.
Okay.
What? She was in Heart of Dixie. God, I don't find her acting good. I can't.
God, I don't find her acting good.
Let me look up Heart of Dixie, and then it'll tell me.
That was the most non-committal.
Rachel Bilson.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Seems super nice in interviews. What a stellar career you've had.
Yeah.
But by God.
Yeah. At what cost to the general public?
Dude, I was just watching the ending. I want to hear the most creepy. But
okay.
I was just watching the ending to Gossip Girl again. Okay, because I'm 16 at heart. And there's a scene in the last episode where what's Dax Shepard's wife? Kirsten Bell?
Yeah.
Kirsten Bell. She's the voice of Gossip Girl in the whole thing. And then there's this scene where Rachel Bilson. Gossip Girl. You can't. You're not even allowed to say it because you don't watch it. Or
Well,
did you watch it?
I've watched it before, but like I didn't watch it like religiously. No.
Yeah, it's top 10 for me.
Okay.
But there's a scene where Rachel Bilson and Kirsten Bell are like pretending to audition for Gossip Girl, basically. Just go watch that scene in general if you need like a example.
Secondhand cringe moment.
Yeah, it was just like it reminded me of how little I enjoy that acting.
Yeah.
It's just wild. And what a like poorly written scene also. Like to her credit, there weren't gold.
She wasn't working with much.
She was not working with gold, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was the creepiest movie? I already know, but
Hereditary.
Yeah.
Hands fucking down. That shit is whack, dude. Like I literally my hairdresser recommended this to me, Carl, and he was talking to me about it because he watches kind of like a little bit more obscure movies. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you should watch Hereditary. It's really good." And I was like, "Okay." And he's very like he's just like a not dramatic person. So he's not like, it's fucked. Like he was like, it's really good. Like we really enjoyed it. It was scary, but yeah, it was good. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like, this doesn't sound that bad. Oh, I've never in my life watched anything that absolutely fucking horrifying. Like Matt is usually like not that bad with like scary movies. We were both like covering our eyes basically the entire time. And then we would have to like turn it off to like take breathers and be like, what the fuck? Like it was just so fucked up, dude. Like it's been a while since we watched it. So like looking back, I'm like, how could it possibly be that bad? And I know that there's some people that like, you know, like they're horror film veterans and they're like, it's not that bad. But like,
I would argue that the internet kind of banded together on the fact that Hereditary was fucked.
Dude, that shit, like, I like some like dark art sometimes. That was something where I was like, oh, I don't even want to meet this fucking guy. Like whoever like came up with that shit in their mind and was like, not only am I coming up with this nightmare fucking hellscape, I'm gonna write it into a movie and then I'm gonna band people together and we're gonna fucking film it. You're fucked, dude. You're fucked. And then so he has this other movie, Midsummer.
Oh, it was the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And Midsummer is also whack as absolute hell, but like it didn't scare me as much because it's all set in broad daylight, which doesn't bother me as much.
That's almost like more creepy to me.
It's way less creepy to me. Like I can handle that because I can see visibly what's going on. Mm-hmm. I don't like it's dark. I don't know what's fucking coming out of left field.
Yeah.
You know? And that's basically Hereditary in a nutshell. Like I don't think they filmed in fucking daylight once. But Midsummer, I don't even want to say equally fucked up because I do think Hereditary is like far worse. But it's pretty fucked up as well. But Midsummer, he wrote after a breakup. And so it's kind of like a lot of like the movie like symbolizes like, you know, his like breakup with this person. And I'm like, I would file a restraining order.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like there's people like, you know, like at one point in Midsummer, there's somebody that's wearing a suit made out of someone else's skin and like being burned alive and just like, and that's not like the worst of it. Like,
yeah, that's a bit much. I remember I feel like when you saw that, you said that it was like an immersive experience. Like you were really in it. And I think that that's what gets me about like horror films is when they create them so that you're so invested.
Oh, I mean, he's brilliant. Like he's definitely like an artist. You know what I mean? Like but
terrifying.
It's something else. But like, yeah, I don't wish to cross him on a street.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For sure.
So yeah, if you really want to have a horrifying time, definitely go watch Hereditary. But I can't even say that with like a clear conscience because it's so fucked.
Yeah.
I just know there's going to be someone in the comments being like, it wasn't even that bad.
Liar.
Dude, honestly, if you don't think Hereditary is that bad, you've got something else going on.
I haven't watched either, and I never will, just for my own mental health. Like, people can't even send me texts about scary things at night.
I'll never be the same.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That definitely changed me.
Yeah, if Lord of the Rings changed me, I'm not ready.
You would be like comatose. Like I don't even know, your body would go into shock.
I would literally have to like sleep upstairs with the dogs and like in your bedroom probably.
Yeah. I have to say though, the acting in both Midsummer and Hereditary I thought was like phenomenal.
Oh, that's good.
Considering that like it's pretty like out there, you know, content.
Yeah.
They did such a good job.
Yeah, which like is probably why it's so scary. Because if it was bad acting, you wouldn't be as
You'd be like,
involved.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some things people said you will understand when you were an adult too, but now that you're an adult, you still do not understand?
I don't know that people really said that to me. You know what I don't like though is when people say like, you're so young. Sure. Absolutely. But I hate that every time.
Like now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm like, yeah, I am young in comparison to anyone older than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not a kid. I'm a 27-year-old adult for sure. And it's not that I have like a chip on my shoulder about it, that I think I know more or whatever. And I'm never speaking in that way. So there's literally no reason for you to say that. And for me, it's mostly when I'm talking about my body, like, because I have, you know, arthritis and stuff like that. So I'll be like, ooh, like my back is really sore. And people will be like, oh, you're young, just wait until you're 35. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know about your body either, but like, I guarantee you that my body is like, my body gave out at 15.
But she's done. Yeah, she tapped out. Yeah. I also don't think anybody in like the history of humanity has been comforted by someone being like, you're so young.
Yeah.
Like they've been like, oh yeah, you're right.
I don't feel comforted by that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm sure that my parents said to me at some point that like I would understand when I'm older about like, you know, maybe like restrictions I had as a kid or whatever. And there's some things that for sure I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see like why that was like a thing. But there's other things that I'm like, no, like still no, I still don't understand. And like we've talked about this multiple times before, but like definitely the like because I said so thing. I don't plan on like implementing that with my children at all. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be times where I want to, because you want to just be like, oh my God, just listen to me.
Yeah.
But like I just don't think that teaches good things. And then the other thing that comes to mind also is this ex of mine that recently I had a conversation with. It was a great time. He was like cheating on me with multiple people.
As you do.
Yeah. And he was like, and like at the time I thought that it was like more so just like he was, you know, like Skyping with them inappropriately or texting them inappropriately or whatever, and like not physical as much. And he was like, when you're older, you'll understand.
He said that to you?
Yeah, because he was like, well, when I was 18, you know, like I thought that there was things that like I would never be okay with, like sexually or like, you know, with my partner doing or whatever. And now that I'm older, like, you know, I understand that like sexuality is more fluid than that. And, you know, but
okay, it can be.
Sure. Yeah. For some.
But okay, anyway, go on.
But I would argue that that's not an age thing. So
no.
Much as, I mean, sure, to some extent, but like,
yeah,
you know, people that are chill with that kind of stuff, like, I don't know that exclusively came with age.
No, absolutely not. That sounds a lot more like manipulation
than
also, trying to educate you about the differences in sexual fluidity.
And like, I also think that like, I don't know that anyone's like chill with cheating specifically, like chill with like, like agreed upon, like this is our boundaries kind of thing.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Deceit.
Covertly. Yeah, like exactly.
There's a difference.
You'll understand when you're older.
You'll understand deceit when you're older. It becomes fine for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I do understand some things about a relationship now that I'm an adult, but not in his favor, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you rate 10 out of 10? A++ would do again or buy again.
What would I rate 10 out of 10?
Could be products, could be experiences. Someone said getting into bed when the sheets are freshly cleaned. So true.
I'm going to add to that and say with shaven legs.
Yeah.
It's so different. I did that last night.
Yeah.
I literally came home and shaved my legs just because I changed my sheets in the morning. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I know that I have fresh, buttery, soft sheets on there. I just want to climb in. Yeah. And it was a divine time. Honestly, I feel like Iceland, like it was a 10 out of 10 experience.
You loved it.
But that's obviously like just not accessible right now. So I'm trying to come up with something that's like
closer to home.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you go. I'm gonna try to think while you're 10 out of 10ing.
My dogs.
Yeah.
They're 10 out of 10. They're perfect. Yeah, I would say like dogs in general. But like they're just so like, oh my God, the comfort. They like, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but if I haven't, it's like once I got, well, Arrow, first of all, it was like nothing in my life was ever so bad again. Even though like I probably went through like worse times. It's like there's just something about like a dog where you're like, ugh. And yet it's not that fucking bad, you know?
Yeah. Because you still have somebody like to take care of, number one. Mm-hmm. You still have somebody to come home to.
And they're just like always there with me and like
they're so perfect.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, this is like an experience. Vacuuming out your fridge. It's a 10 out of 10. What? Okay, hear me out. This is the thing. In contrast to not using the vacuum when you're cleaning your fridge. So I'm not saying that like it's a 10 out of 10 experience cleaning your fridge, but instead of trying to like get all the crumbs out with a cloth or like, you know, take it all out, just attach a little, you know, thing to your vacuum. You vacuum it out, especially the crispers.
Vegetables? Oh yeah.
Like onion shavings and shit like that. Like, just like watching it all go up the vacuum instead of like trying to like, oh my gosh. Vacuuming out your fridge, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Yes. And the microwave. Same thing.
You vacuum out your microwave too?
I do. Yeah.
You're eating like a lot of crumbly foods, I feel.
Well, okay, so the thing with the microwave is this has been like an ongoing thing, and my mom, like, if there's one thing that probably annoyed her the most, that's not true, but a lot, it was me not covering my food in the microwave. I don't know why I can't do it. Anyway, so I don't do that.
I don't do it either.
My chicken explodes sometimes. Like my little cubed chicken.
There is not a time that it's appropriate in the day for me to have been ready for that statement. My chicken explodes sometimes. And then I vacuum it out. Your vacuum fucking filled with chicken, debris, shrapnel. Bro. But you have to move out.
No, I brought that microwave into this house. It's not yours.
And you will be leaving with it. Oh, God.
Oh, my nose just filled up so quickly. It's okay, so what happens is like I cook my chicken and I cut it into like cubes, right? And then I heat it up in the microwave, but sometimes the littler pieces explode and like shred apart. Okay, and if I don't get them right away, like what if I'm in a fucking hurry? And then so I microwave them like 3 or 4 times, and then they just become like, you know, like little rocks. So anyway, vacuuming them out. Same with rice. Like, what if your rice has like a little and then the rice, like, you know what I mean? And then you're like, well, I'm not going to like sit here and clean out my microwave every single time I use it. And so instead of like trying to cloth it out or like whatever, just run the vacuum in there, like shoop, 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 so quick. I'm not moving out. I have a tenancy agreement.
How often then do you clean your vacuum out?
Quite often.
Like, do you empty it after every chicken
So
interaction?
If I'm cleaning the fridge and the microwave, it's usually because I'm doing like a big clean. Okay, so I use my vacuum until it runs out of power, in which case, yes, I'm emptying it that day.
Okay.
However, I don't empty my vacuum like every time I use it. So there's a possibility that I'm like vacuuming my kitchen.
Rotting in there.
Yeah. But it's not rotting because it's already like petrified. Like it's mummified from the microwave. I'm not even joking, Sam. There's no moisture left in there. You know what I mean? No bacteria is living on. I mean, I can't guarantee that.
Yeah, I cannot guarantee that for sure.
But like, I can't even describe to you. Like, it doesn't even look like food anymore. I'm not making it better.
Yeah, this is so odd.
You know what? Let me go downstairs and look in your microwave, okay?
Okay. I can guarantee there isn't petrified chicken in there. Better yet, why don't you look in my vacuum? Is what I'm more concerned about.
Well, I was the last one to use your vacuum, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be confident about that either.
Oh God. Here, I'll be your vacuuming chicken away. It's okay, this is the thing that's so odd about your personality. You're so so specific about some things. Mm-hmm. And then you vacuum chicken and leave it in the vacuum.
I don't purposely leave it in there.
You don't purposefully take it out. Like, this is what's so odd to me is like you won't use a spoon that you would eat off of to like spoon out cat food. No. Which, like, okay, I can see the merit in that. So then it seems like such a like
disconnect.
Yeah.
Well, and there was also a thing the other day that I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, for some reason this is okay, and you were like, at least you know that there's no rhyme or reason.
Oh yeah, because you were putting it was something about like what you were putting into your grocery cart.
Oh yeah, one on top of the other. I was okay with the ground beef being near the vegetables, but not the chicken. Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, for some reason it was okay for the ground beef to commingle, but not for the chicken to commingle. I don't know, I'm a weird gal.
Yeah.
You know? And unfortunately, I'm taken. So sorry.
So I won't be vacuuming chicken out of your microwave anytime soon.
No.
Sorry, bachelors.
Hey, at least I don't just like leave it in there to like hang out forever.
Sure.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, that's a good 10 out of 10.
I'm just saying, next time you clean your fridge or your microwave, try vacuuming it first.
You really like didn't sell me on it.
What?
Yeah.
Sam,
like I appreciate that for you that is true.
No, a lot of people feel this way. My grandma agrees with me.
I just think that like I don't have that.
Those many crumbs?
I don't.
I don't know. It's a thought.
It is a thought for sure.
I don't know.
I'm not against the idea overall.
Okay.
I just don't know that it applies specifically to my situation.
Maybe not the microwave, but I feel like the fridge for sure. Just try it.
Okay.
Next time.
Okay.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
See how you feel.
I'm being backed into a corner here.
I feel strongly. It's a 10
I wish
out of 10.
I had a more obscure like 10 out of 10 then. Let me think about
I didn't
this
think
for a
that was
second.
obscure. I thought that was pretty like...
It certainly wasn't, it's not what I was expecting to hear from you.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, well, and going back to the sheets thing, I feel like just like my nighttime routine in general, like my humidifier is filled.
Yeah.
My diffuser is filled and fresh, ready to go. Like the sheets are fresh. And then the dirty ass dogs climb into my bed.
Yeah.
And then my sheets are no longer fresh.
I will say, I had a sleepover with you not too long ago, and it was pretty divine. Like, she had this, like, really low, soft, calming music, and then the diffuser was going, and the humidifier, and she has these, like, really comfy pillows, and it's a king-size bed. Like, I was, like, sprawled out, and we weren't touching. It was a vibe. Like, that was an experience for me.
The room, my bedroom, that's the spot.
Yeah. Although it is wildly cold.
It is Baltic, yes. It's cold. It's cold. But okay, so because Matt actually has been like turning up the heat, and then the other day we were like arguing about it because I was like, he was like, it's way too fucking cold to like put on the fucking air conditioning. So I put on the fan. I'm like, the fan just like blows around hot air. So like, is there no in between here? And he was like, whoa. I'm like, just, is there no in between? And he's like, I guess so. But like this went on for so long where like he wouldn't just set it to like I don't need it to be freezing. But like I also don't want it to be like hot and stuffy in here. Cause like I sleep with my heating pad on my back every single night. And Matt overheats. So I don't even know what he was thinking.
But like you can just set your room to a temperature.
Yeah, like a normal temperature.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need to be like Icelandic or
Hawaiian.
Yeah, exactly.
Hawaiian tropic.
I need somewhere like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like Vancouver temp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like 20 degrees is kind of like
A good standard.
the status quo.
Sure.
18 if you run hot.
Yeah.
22 or 26 if you're Whitney. I lived with this girl. I love her so much. I lived with her in Toronto the first time. We were roommates. We got paired up by fine dining restaurant. casual fine dining restaurant. I don't get it. It's as if she lives in a sauna. Like, I would turn down the temperature just a little, like 24 degrees. She would turn it back up. Like, I'm not even joking. It was so hot in there.
Yeah.
Like, I would sweat every single night. I think I lost 10 pounds just because I wasn't retaining any water.
I used to sleep like that. So, okay, so our like family home that we grew up in, I was on like 2 outside walls. So my room was like fucking freezing all the time. So I had like a heater that like I cranked to max and I left it on all night long. And then like I would sleep with like 5 blankets. Dude, it was so hot in that room. Like I sleep with 1 blanket now and I like wake up sweating.
Yeah, I wake up sweating a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like it's not hot down there. I feel like
Is this what being old is?
Maybe. But if I sleep with a fan on, I'm more likely to sweat.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm warm under the blankets, but the fan is cooling me off and my body's just like, what do you want?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That to me is like, okay, so this is like to me a Canadian staple. Like, you know, like going in the hot tub when it's like snowing out. Mm-hmm. Fucking tight. So that is like that's what I like the setting to be in my room.
Right.
It's freezing out in my room, but then like,
Bless
sorry.
you.
Oh, that was like the moistest
wet?
like grunt sneeze. But like if it's like freezing in my room and then like super warm and like cozy under my covers, yeah, that's what's up.
I like that too, but for some reason it makes me sweat.
Weird.
I don't know. I also am more likely to sweat in my sleep if I take a nap than if it's at night. I don't know what it is.
I would agree with that. I think just because it's warmer during the day.
But I feel like it's 20 degrees in my house at all times. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's my circadian rhythm. My circadian cycle, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. I wish that we were not leaving off, like, with the vacuum thing in mind. like even, like, I wish that was, like, so long ago.
Well, like, you wish that I just hadn't said it at all, probably.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yet...
You know what? I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to empty my vacuum.
Okay. That will bring me some peace of mind. For
Yeah.
Sure.
And like my microwave is clean right now. You watched me clean it last week.
Yeah.
You watched me vacuum it out, no?
No.
Oh, I must have done it before you got down there.
Yeah.
So really, I postponed that for you for an entire week because you could have heard the chicken going up the vacuum.
Yeah.
So you're welcome for that.
Yeah. If there's anything that ever made me like regret like the fact that we started a podcast,
it's this.
It's this.
I really just have found out so much about Alyssa through the podcast.
And then it passed a threshold of too much. Now I know too much and I can't unknow it.
You can't go back.
Yeah.
And just know, like, you've really like fostered this idea that we're going to live together in some way forever. So this is like, there's no end.
And it's so easy for that to not be the case anymore. Alyssa's packing up her shit and going.
Just kidding.
Even though she knows that you have a tenant agreement.
Yeah, well, I'm allowed to break
her eyes are watering.
Want.
That made it a little too real for you, like the acting it out. Oh,
yeah. All right. Well, I am going to finish cleaning up my fridge, so.
Okay. I'm going to not do that.
Okay.
But I mean, I've enjoyed our time here today aside from that moment.
Me too. I hope that this was like enjoyable for you on the other end of this, because
How could it not be?
it was fun for us.
Yeah. Well, see you later.
Peace out. I wanted to like give you a pound it for some reason.
Okay.
Boom. Ow.
I know.
You got a scratchy ring.
I'm sorry. All right. Bye, guys.